Hello everyone, my name is Vasi. Back again with a new video on how to cluster the enterprise role application. The clustering service I'm using is Windows Failover cluster. If you look here, this is the cluster manager. I already have one environment built, which is working. Likewise, I'm going to create a new one. The whole purpose is to show what are the requirements and how exactly we can build the enterprise cluster environment. Sorry. In order to achieve that, I have uh, one node. I'm not going to play around with two nodes. So for now, I'm just going to show you how to have it set up. So EV is the server. It already has a enterprise vault installed, but not configured. I have the SQL on the server here. I'm going to use the instance san/stan. This is my storage server to create the disks. I'm going to create a target real quick. Okay. Add some disks. This Darwin solution, I find it very handy and understandable. You can also use it. For a small lab environment, this is a very good software created by Darwin. Alright, I have my quorum disk configured. To create a few more disks that are required. In the meantime, let's do this. Here, I'm going to create a cluster with this cluster. I already have the Failover cluster feature installed on the stand. I'm not going to perform the best. All I'm going to do is just create a cluster. So let's name it PVHA1 TKG. Hope I'm not using the type address anywhere else. Let's have a look. TKG. No. Okay, next. What do we use? Okay. I got 231. Okay. I'm creating that. I'm going to create a few more disks. Okay, I'm going to assign it to the existing target. Finish. Now, uh, apart from the core disk, we require 4 shared drives or volumes for the index location, for the cache, MSMQ, and load store. Sorry, there we go. Let's have a look. Okay, the cluster is created. There you go. Nodes added 1. Alright. To the disk. I should have created this earlier, but I wanted to show you the Starwin solution here. So that's why I've kept it. Okay. MGP. Oops, I'm sorry. I believe it's already in use. Oh, there you go. I created an index already. So vault.ing 10 GB. Okay. There you go. Finish. Once you cover this part, the rest of the steps are not that much difficult or very quick. So let me quickly complete this task of creating the drives here. msmq.img-drive. Let's keep it 5. Since it's just a test environment, so I'm not concerned about the storage. Finish. Alright, I have my series of disks created. Now let's go to the node here and launch the iSCSI initiator. Click yes. SAN. Connect. Okay, I have my target here. Target area, so EV is already in use by the other cluster. I'm going to connect to the EV stand. Connect. Connection successful. Connected. Okay, let's have a look at the disk management on the node. Okay, all my disks are available. I'm going to set them online. Line. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to initialize the disks. Done. And next. Finish. Cache. Okay. Colon drive here. This error appears if the drive is already in use. No need to worry. Follow the result again. Okay. 2 more disks to go. MSQ. Right. One more. Right. Perfect. So all the drives are configured now. It should appear in the Windows Explorer. There you go. Let's go back in here. We need to add disks. Okay, all the disks are available. Okay. For the ease of understanding, I'm going to name them column index. Volt. Cache. Oops, sorry, typo error here. And the last one, which is MSQ. Okay, so now since we have a denomination, so we'll be able to understand which drive to use where. Now since I have the service and application, I need to create service or client access point. And enterprise will terminal, select other server. Let's name it stand archive 132. Right. I've added all the disks except the column. It's done. Okay, now we need to configure our column disk for the cluster. So right click on the EVHA1, more actions, configure cluster. Next, choose the column disk here. It's done. Let's have a look. We have all the storages here. We have a client access point created. Now we need to add the MSMQ service. So do right click on the stand archive. Now before proceed, let me go back to the DNS server and show you what has changed. Okay, so stand archive, that's the cluster service name. I'll go ahead and create a CNAME EV server for the cluster service name. Stand archive, click OK. Right, let's check if we can ping, if we ping the EV server that it will solve to the cluster service name, which is standarchive.air1.com. It does. Perfect. We're good from the DNS. Let's go to the cluster manager again. Okay. Do right click on the client access point or the service, add resources, more resources, add MSQ as a service, note. We have added it, but we can't start unless we add the dependencies. Now the dependency of the cluster MSMQ service is the client access point and the storage, right? In this resource online, perfect. So these are the steps that we need to perform in the cluster manager. Once it's done, now we can move to the node and perform the configuration. Enterprise fault configuration is R. Click next. Since it's a new cluster, we'll select the first option and click next. If we are adding a second node to an existing, we'll use the second option. Next. Okay. There you go. It's our cluster group. Next. Yes. Minimum. English. Password. This might take a while here. In the meantime, since I already have a configured cluster here, let's have a look how it looks. This is the cluster service. If I go to the cluster manager, it's your archive. There we go, it's your archive. And archive.air1.com is the scene for the cluster service, it's your archive. Okay, let's go ahead and do the directory service. By default, when you install the Enterprise Vault application, it only installs the Enterprise Vault admin service. Once we initiate the configuration, it creates the rest of the services. I'm sure the directory service is created and it's started. Okay, so now it's asking for the SQL server. It might take a while, so I'm not going to wait for it to resolve my SQL server. That instead, I'm going to do this. Scan, click OK. I hope I have made it correct. Let's double check. Stand. For testing purpose, I've used 2008 SQL, so that's why it errored out. But yet again, we can continue. Next. Okay, to connect, let's go back to the SQL. Go to SQL Server Configuration Manager and check if TCP main part is enabled. Started. Let's go to configuration and check. Oh, there we go. Disabled. So we need to enable it. Alright, that's enabled. What to do since we have made some changes? We need to restart the SQL Server instance, which is SQL Server stand. Alright, that's done. Let's check if we can connect to it now. There you go. Next. Now it's creating the Enterprise Vault directory database. Let's do refresh on the databases to see if it's created yet or it's in progress. There you go. Done. Now the monitoring database. Next. Site name, let's say stand site. Next. Okay. Alias name. Remember we have named stand archive as EV server. So we're going to use EV server. DNS suffix is our domain Wikipedia, which is 801.com. Next. Now it's creating the VDOM database, which is the Enterprise File Monitoring database. It shouldn't take much time. Again, it's still in the process of creating. I can show you the other one. Enterprise File, Enterprise File Monitoring. Okay. If I'm not running out of disk space, let's check. Oh, still ample of disk space available. Waiting. Let's have a look at the cluster manager. It is changed. Okay. Nothing has changed, still appears the same. Whatever we have configured, we don't see the services yet. I've seen in multiple environments on multiple labs while creating the monitoring database. It does take a while here. Creation of the directory database is not that time consuming. Okay, so now it has passed on to creating the IIS virtual directories locally on the node. If you go to the IIS manager, you should be able to view some virtual directories created. Span size, support size, there you go, Enterprise Vault API, similarly indexing. There you go. The monitoring database is created. Okay. So since I'm using a usual microphone, you may not find the audio quality very clear. I did upload a video previously, and after uploading I noticed that the audio was quite clear. I'm hoping the same for this video as well. Okay, so there you go. Now we have all the services in place. We can choose which services to use and choose which not to. I'm going to add all the services. Click next. Now we will have to add data locations. Click Next, click Add for the index volume. I'm not sure which one is that. Let's go back in here. And next is the add volume. Subtract drive, folder, index, okay. The cache location, go back in here. It's the G drive. Okay, click next. That's fine for now. Go to resource online. Next. Now all these services will be clustered. That's why if you read this wizard, I say once the resource has been created and before that, you need to create cluster resources for each of the enterprise vault services. So it's going to create the cluster services. So there you go. So all the services are created. It's now trying to bring the services online. Okay, let's wait. If I give you an example, there you go. So this is the existing environment that I have, and all the services, as you can see, are online. Likewise, we're expecting the same for this one. So the enterprise vault server instance is online. Okay, the admin service. Is online. Let's check the status. You can view this report by clicking on view, or else you can just scroll up now and check the results. Click next. I'm going to just close this result. Finish. That's absolutely fine. Yes. It's done. Okay, we will wait for the services to be up and running. Once the status is online, we will access the console. For that, let me create a shortcut. Yeah, let's have a look. What are the main virtual directories that I created? Okay, there you go. One more yet to come. That's Google indexing. Let's create a shortcut. That's done. Okay. Now, since I haven't added a second node, so if you look at the network, I only have one. That's the production. To give you an example of the existing environment, have a look at the network. There are two. One is the heartbeat. Let's have a look what's the IP address. It's 192.192.192.1. It's connected to EV node 1 and EV node 2, 192.192.192.2. Let's have a look at the production network subnet. So EV node 1, it's 192.168.1.1.1. The subnet does not matches. So we don't have to worry about which subnet to be used for the heartbeat network. One thing we need to make sure is the heartbeat network subnet on both the nodes should be same. can use any class ABCD. The heartbeat network is between the two nodes and they keep communicating with each other or sending ping requests all the time to check the status of each node. For example, node 1 keeps checking what's the status of node 2 and node 2 keeps checking what's the status of node 1. Alright, perfect. So our new cluster is ready. All the services are up and running. Let's go to the node and launch the console. Yes. Since I don't have a license, I need to click OK. Local host. Click OK. Next. Finish. Alright. I may have performed the steps a little fast. I may not be able to follow since I have configured the enterprise vault and clustered environment quite many times. So it's kind of I know what the next step is. So feel free to write to me if you have any suggestions regarding the base of the video. Let me know. I'm going to hit cancel here since it's been an ongoing issue I've seen many times. Okay. Come on. Alright, so that's our site, stand site. Expand it a little here. Take a look at the server. Okay, so the service name, remember, it's stand archive, and the alias name is EV server, which is here. It's configured. All the services are running. If I go back to the services applet, the principal services are running. Have a look at the stat.type of the service. There's up to now manual. It's because in clustered environment, services start out on a local server, changes to manual. If you have to restart or stop a service, always perform from the cluster manager. Do a right click, take this resource offline. Do a right click, bring this resource online. Okay, so that concludes the Enterprise Vault cluster configuration. I hope this video is informative. Thank you.